Okay. All right, fine. Let us continue. Let us see certain practicals like
That IP
fine, guys.
and DNS configuration.
Okay, on the ESXi you mean to say?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me show you that part. Fine. So this is the virtual machine of Prabhakar. Let me power it on.
They're on 30, 1.30.
Yeah, 1.30. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Let me open the console of it. It's getting powered on. Booting. Yes. We are just checking out a few things on ESXi. Okay. Uh, Vikas, can you ask the question again? What did you ask me? What happens in case of thin allocation if one machine has taken all committed space and there is nothing left for other virtual machines? Guys, if there is no space available on the data store, then you cannot store a virtual machine on that particular data store. Better to go with some other data store. Okay. Or sometimes what will happen is that there might be multiple virtual machines stored on a data store, and every virtual machine is configured with thin. And but as these virtual machines are going to demand the space, the data store is going to allocate the space. And there would be a position where there is no more space available on the data store, and the data store will not be in a position to supply or give any space to the virtual machines virtual hard disk. If that's the case, then most probably you'll come across a message on the virtual machines stating that uh, suppose you are doing certain task on it, maybe you are installing something or something like that, and that installation and that particular task will not continue. It will say that right now cancel that particular task because there's no enough space, or retry it. And you need to understand why that particular message appeared, and most probably that is because of there is no space available on your data store. So at that particular time, there are two ways how you can overcome that particular problem. One, by doing storage vMotion, where we are migrating virtual machines from one data store to another data store. That is one way we can achieve it. Or the other way is to increase the size of your data store. Okay. So there are two ways how we can achieve, how we can overcome that particular problem. Either migrate certain virtual machines to a data store where there is enough space, or add space to your data store. Yeah, that is how we do. However, not to worry, I'm going to show you. Yep. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, each language is going to act as a data store. Yep. I'll show you in the class. Not to worry. We have the theory of the storage as well as the practicals. Not to worry. We haven't reached that part yet. Okay, fine. In detail, not to worry, guys. Each and everything I'm going to cover in detail. The theory as well as the practical part. Okay. Now let us see how to configure this, guys. Yeah, this is the Rupesh virtual ESXi. If you want to configure, you need to press F2. Okay. Rupesh, sorry, this is the machine of Prabhakar, I think, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, Prabhakar, what is the password you have given to this?
Yeah, SOOM1234. The same one, but
Uppercase
small
S,
letter
same
S.
password. Small s. Okay,
No, no, no.
S.
Lowercase,
Okay.
lowercase.
Yes, lowercase, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So enter into the DCUI, saying invalid password.
No, that one I have given.
What is the password you gave? SOOM, SOOM.
Yes, yes. 1234. Even I faced this problem for my EXI2 also. I configured and later
No, you haven't configured. It hasn't taken the configuration yet. It is blank.
oh, okay, okay.
The password is blank. Okay. See,
Okay,
guys.
okay.
Now I'll show you how to set the configure password. Configure password. Click on enter. Now give the new password. What is the password you want to give?
The same, whatever we are using for,
So uppercase S O O
yes,
M 1 2 3 4, so that we do not get confused and do not forget it. Let us have the same
yes,
password. Uppercase S O O M 1 2 3 4. So the new password is set. Okay. So it is set now. Now for configuration, drop down to configure management network. Enter. Now drop down to IP configuration. Enter. And by default, every operating system is set to get an IP from a DHCP server. However, it is not recommended to run a server with a dynamic IP. Use always static IP. Drop down. Select set static IP by using space key. It gets selected. Drop down. Now we need to enter the IP address. Prabhakar, I'm giving you this IP 10 dot 83 dot 0 dot 20. Is it okay?
yeah,
10.83.0.20. 83. Randomly I'm
yes,
using it by because no one other can use it randomly if you select it.
okay,
10.83.0 is your series. Okay.
okay,
Now subnet would be the same 255.0.0.0. Make a note of that 10.83.0. So
yes,
whatever your virtual machines you are creating, you need to assign the IP from the same range 10.83.0. Okay. Now the
okay,
default gateway, as we have said, you need to use 10.0.1.200. Enter. The IP configuration is done. Now DNS. Drop down to DNS configuration. Hit on enter. Now you need to give the DNS IP. DNS IP is the same 10.0.1.200. Now we need to give the host name. Let us give the host name ESXi1 hyphen Prabhakar. Okay.
yes,
Enter to OK. Fine. And now drop down to custom DNS suffixes to give the DNS. That means your domain names. Here, let me give zoom.com, xoom.com. Fine, enter to OK. Now, you need to escape to exit from DCUI. So I'm escaping from this management. Escape. Once I click on escape, it is going to ask me to restart the management network. So yes, you need to press the key Y. Okay, once you press the key Y, now you see the host name has been changed to ESXi1 hyphen Prabhakar, the IP 10.83.0.20. Okay, all right. Now
yes,
let me show you a few more things. I think on the other day, did I show you the command line part, guys?
no,
I haven't shown you, guys. Right. Okay,
yes,
guys. Now we know that ESXi has a shell, right?
yeah,
ESXi has a shell. By default, this shell access is disabled. You need to enable it. How to enable it? Using DCUI, drop down to troubleshooting options. Yeah. And right now you can see this on the right hand side. The ESXi shell is disabled. Once you click on enter, it will get enabled. Okay. Now you find beneath that enable SSH. By default, SSH is disabled. If you enable SSH, then you can use SSH client like PuTTY and PuTTY and get connected to your shell remotely. However, using SSH is not recommended. However, you can use it if you want. Okay. So I'm enabling SSH as well so that we can get connected to an SSH client remotely to our shell. Okay. Now escape to log out from DCUI. Now you can see this. I have the IP address configured, the host name configured. Now, how to enter into the shell? Guys, you can use the key Alt F1. Alt F1 will take you to the shell. Now, you find the black screen with the login prompt. What is the username? Root. The password is whatever you have configured, uppercase S OOM1234. So this is my shell of ESXi, or the console of my ESXi. Now guys, we can manage and we can troubleshoot our ESXi with command line. And guys, the commands used in ESXi are the commands of ESXi. Let us see what configuration commands. Guys, my configuration commands are stored in sbin directory. So let me show you how to reach sbin. cd change drive drive, okay, to change directory to sbin, cd space sbin. Now I'm in sbin directory. If I do ls to list out what is there in the directory, you see there is a long list here, right? And you can see certain commands here starting with ESXCFG. You see this ESXCFG. Every command is starting with ESXCFG. Are you seeing this till here?
Yeah.
Right. Now there are 19 set of commands. ESXCFG hyphen. The next is the component by which you can manage this. The component can be managed with this particular command. For example, you see this ESXCFG hyphen V switch. That means I can manage a virtual switch using this particular command. Okay. For example, you find ESXCFG hyphen NICs. So the physical NIC cards can be managed using this command. You can configure NAS by using this command. You can configure hardware iSCSI with this particular command. You can configure software iSCSI with this particular command. So the configurations using command line would be done using these commands, and these commands are in sbin directory. And there is another command starting with ESXCLI. Using ESXCLI, there are 8 components which can be configured and managed, and that can be used for troubleshooting. So here guys, these 19 commands, this ESXCLI command, which will have 8 components which can be managed. So these are the most widely used commands for configuration and troubleshooting. If you have some practice on it, then you are ready to work even with command line interface. Guys, in vSphere infrastructure, 95 to 99% of our administration tasks is done by using graphical user interface tools like vSphere client and web client. But sometimes there might be a requirement for you to use command line. And here in command line, these are the commands by which we can configure and troubleshoot our ESXIs. Okay. And there is another set of command which is VMKFS tools. Now this is the command by which you can manage your VMFS data stores. However, VMFS data store normally we can configure and we can troubleshoot each and everything using vSphere client and web client. But these are the most widely used commands, ESXCFG and ESXCLI. Let me execute one command and show you how to execute that. And in order to execute the command, you need not be in sbin directory. You can also be in the topmost root, that is topmost directory, that is slash. Okay. Now let me use the command ESXCFG hyphen V switch. Here I'm trying to configure and trying to know more about the virtual switch. Now this is the command. There might be command options associated with it. If you don't know the command options, then click on enter. Then it will give you all the options which can be used with this particular command called ESXCFG-V switch. If you see this here right now, if you use the command option -A, then it will add a new virtual switch. -D will delete the virtual switch. -L will list all the virtual switches. So let us see how many virtual switches do I have. As I informed you during the virtual networking, when you install the ESXi is going to create one virtual switch by default. It is going to take the first physical adapter, the NIC card available on the ESXi host, and get it connected to the right hand side, which is the physical adapter acting as an uplink. On the left hand side, it is going to create 2 connections, that is VM network port group and VM kernel port, which is being used for management. So will I get that information? Can I see that all that information by using this command? Let us see. ESXCFG-V switch space -L will list the virtual machines information. Click on enter, and right now you can see the information. See guys, my first virtual switch has been named vSwitch 0, the number of ports 128, used ports 4, configured ports 128, MTU stand for maximum transmission unit 1500, uplink, the first NIC card, I told you it is going to name it as VMNIC 0. If you see the port groups, VM network port group, and this is management network, it is nothing but my VM kernel port, which is being used for management network. So this is how we use command line, guys. And just make a note of it. How many ports you are able to see here?
128.
How many ports, guys? 128.
128.
Okay, 128. Okay, fine. Now let me exit it from here. Okay. Now you want to go to the default screen back again, then you have to use the key Alt F2. Guys, Alt F1 will take you to the shell. Alt F2 will bring me back to the default screen. Now let me use vSphere client and get connected to the virtual ESXi of Prabhaka, which is 10.83.0.20. Let me do that. How to do it? Just minimize this. Go to the vSphere client available on my remote machine, which I'm connected to right now, which is zoomer.dydns.tv 3390. Launch vSphere client. What is the IP we gave? 10.83.0.20. The username root and the password uppercase SOOM 1234. Enter. You get the security warning. Click on ignore. Right. Now I'm connected to the ESXi of Prabhaka, which is virtual ESXi. Guys, if you see the screen of virtual ESXi and physical ESXi, there isn't any difference from the vSphere client. Is there any difference to the vSphere client, guys? No? No difference, right? I'm connected to physical ESXi, which is 10.0.1.20, and I'm connected to my virtual ESXi, which is 10.83.0.20. No difference in it. It is absolutely the same. Okay. Now, guys, I told you, can you see a virtual switch? Normally, no, but yes, it is represented in a graphical format. I told you when you use vSphere client and get connected to your ESXi host, you can see that virtual switch. So let us see the virtual switch here. You need to go to the configuration tab of your ESXi, and under the hardware section, you find networking. Guys, this is your virtual switch. Okay. You can see this on the left hand side, VM network port group, and the other port which is created is VM kernel port, which is being used for management network. And this is the IP which we have configured to my VM kernel port 10.83.0.20, by which I am connected to this ESXi host. I am managing it 10.83.0.20 using this line. On the right hand side, you find the physical adapter VM0. Guys, on this switch, if you want to configure something, you want to add a new port group, remove a new port group, whatever you want to do, you can do it by clicking on properties. Okay, just click on properties. Okay, now you see this vSwitch and how many ports it is showing you, guys? 120, but in command line it showed me 128 ports, right?
Yeah.
Now what happened to those 8 ports? Guys, no doubt my virtual switch was configured with 128 ports, but usable ports are only 120. So vSphere client shows you only the ports which you can use. What happened to those 8 ports? Those 8 ports you cannot use it. Why? Because VM kernel is using those 8 ports internally. Okay, those 8 ports are used by VM kernel internally. vSphere client is going to show you only the ports which can be used by the virtual machines and the VM kernel ports. Clear? Now, guys, I told you you can create multiple VM network port groups, all right, and VM kernel ports. How to create it? In this way. Click on the properties of the virtual switch. This dialog box appears. In this dialog box, you find 2 tabs. One is the ports and network adapters. In the ports, beneath you find the tab which says add. You click on add. Guys, if you want to create a VM network port group, you need to select virtual machine. Add a labeled network to handle virtual machine network traffic. If you want to create a VM kernel port, you need to select VM kernel. Let me create a VM network port group. So virtual machine. Click on next. Guys, by default, the label is VM network for the first port group. The second port group will have VM network 2. I told you port group labeling is important. I can label it based on why it is being used. For example, I name it as prod. That means production virtual machine will get connected. And I also inform you that my ports on my virtual switch can act as access ports, can act as trunk ports. I can configure VLAN ID. Guys, VLAN ID optional. If you set it to by default done, there is no VLAN. If you want to configure VLAN ID here, let us say VLAN 10, just mention 10 here. That's it. So all the virtual machines which are connected to this port group called prod will get the VLAN ID 10. Now suppose you want to make this a trunk port, then just select this option which says all 4095. That means it is going to accept all VLAN IDs, then it will become a trunk port. Alright. So this is how we configure VLAN on our port groups. But I'm not configuring VLAN because VLAN is configured on our port groups only if we have configured VLAN on our physical network. If we have configured VLAN on our physical network, then accordingly we configure it on our virtual network. So click on next, click on finish. So click on close. A new port group has been created with the name virtual machine port group. Now, let me create a VM kernel port and show you. On this same virtual switch, click on properties, again click on add. Now select VM kernel, click on next. Guys, why VM kernel port is used in ESXi? Guys, it handles 5 networks, 5 kinds of traffic. The first one is management traffic, second one is iSCSI, third is NAS, fourth is vMotion, fifth is fault tolerance. Okay. So now, suppose I want to configure a vMotion port group. So better to label this as VM kernel vMotion. So that by seeing the label, I know that, okay, this is the VM kernel port being used for vMotion. Just labeling this VM kernel port will not make it a VM kernel port for vMotion. You need to select this option which says use this port group for vMotion. To select this option, then only this port group is going to use for vMotion. If not, no. Then select next. Guys, every VM kernel port needs to have a valid IP, so you need to assign a valid IP here. Let us give the IP 10.83.0.20. I have given for management network. Let me give 21 for vMotion. So 255.0.0.0 and VM kernel, whatever you have configured for the main VM kernel port for management, it takes that by default, but you have the option to change it if there is any requirement by clicking on it. Now click on next, click on finish. Now click on close. A new VM kernel port has been created which is going to be used for vMotion. The IP which is being used is 10.83.0.21. So this is how you are going to configure multiple VM virtual machine port groups and multiple VM kernel ports on this virtual switch. Now, you have only one physical adapter connected to this virtual switch. If this goes down, then on the left hand side, all the virtual machines and the management ports, everything will lose connectivity. So for redundancy, you can add another physical adapter to this virtual switch. How to add that physical adapter? Again, click on properties of it. Now here, you find 2 tabs ports. Now go to network adapters. This is the adapter which is connected right now. You want to add another adapter, click on add. Guys, you have another adapter which is VMNIC1, which is unused, unclaimed. So I can use this. Click on select it, click on next. Now guys, if you see this, both these adapters are active right now. Suppose you want one adapter to be active, the other one to be standby, then you can select the adapter, move down. Now one would be active, the other one would be standby. So depends on your infrastructure, so on and so forth. You can make it active or active standby. Let me show you the active here. Click on next, click on finish, click on close. Now you can see another adapter has been added and both are active right now. Okay, so this is how you add another NIC card to your virtual switch, and you can make both the adapters as active or active standby. Now, if you want to remove this adapter, again click on properties, go to network adapters, remove this VMNIC1, click on remove. Are you sure you want to remove it? Yes. Click on close. This is how you can remove that adapter. However, don't remove this VMNIC0. If you remove this VMNIC0, then you lose connectivity to this ESXi host. Why? Because everything is being managed by this physical adapter VMNIC0. And don't remove this virtual switch. If you remove this virtual switch also, entire thing is gone. So don't do that. Don't remove the uplink. Don't remove the basic virtual switch which is created. Okay guys, this is how you would need to configure your virtual switch, create VM network port groups and create VM kernel ports, and how to add an adapter and remove an adapter. Now you want to create a new virtual switch, then you need to click on add networking. To click on add networking, guys, every virtual switch you have the left hand side connections and the right hand side connections. So here it is asking you on the left hand side what type of connection you want to have. You want to have a VM network port group or a VM kernel port. Let me say that I want to have a VM network port group. Click on next. Now it is going to ask me that whether you want to create this VM network port group on a new switch or on an existing switch. No, I want to create it on a new switch, and has taken VMNIC 1, which is the second available adapter, as an uplink to it. If you see in the preview on the left hand side, you have VM network 2 and you have VMNIC 1. Click on next. Now here you can change the label, say that this is prod 2 or production 2. All right, and click on next and click on finish. A new virtual switch has been created. So in this way, as you have the number of physical adapters available, you can create multiple switches, and you can segregate the bandwidth and segregate the traffic as well. This is how you create a new virtual switch. Alright guys, this is how you manage your virtual networking. This is how you create new virtual switches. This is how you create new port groups and VM kernel ports. This is how you add adapters to the existing switch and remove errors. Alright? Clear guys? Fine guys, it's almost 6:40. I'm going to end the session here. Any questions guys? Yep. See guys, this is VM kernel port which is being used for management. That means I'm connected to this ESXi host using this IP 10.83.0.20. Got the point? Yep. So this is used for management. I cannot connect to this ESXi host using 10.83.0.21. Why? Because it is not the management network port. Clear? So this port, VM kernel port, is used for vMotion. Guys, vMotion is nothing but migrating a running virtual machine from one host to another host. So when you migrate a running virtual machine from one host to another host, that virtual machine gets migrated through this particular port. Okay? All right? Clear? Yep. Any other question, guys? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now here, guys, my virtual switch is created with 128 ports. Okay, but usable ports are only 120. The remaining 8 ports are used internally by VM kernel. Yes, 120 virtual machines, and it also includes the VM kernel port. VM kernel port is also occupying one port, right? So on the left hand side, you can have 120 ports. Clear? Fine. Now, yes. No, I'm coming there. I'm coming there. Let me show you. If you want to change the number of ports, you can change it. Okay. Let me show you here. Click on the properties of this virtual switch. Right now, it is configured with 120 ports, right? If you select this V switch and click on Edit, here you can change the number of ports. Okay, guys. By default, it is getting created with 120, but you can minimize it and maximize it. Minimum is 8 ports. Maximum is 4088 ports, guys. Alright. So your virtual switch is by default configured with 120 ports. However, you can decrease or increase the number of ports on your virtual switch. However, if you change the number of ports, then you have to reboot the ESXi server, then only the changes will take effect. Keep this in mind. Okay? Alright? You're welcome. You're welcome. Alright guys, tomorrow, guys, make sure that 4 p.m. We'll start at 4 p.m. guys. Alright? Is it okay with everyone? I think everyone agreed. That's the reason why we started our session today at 4. But I was waiting for the participants. Only 2 guys appeared, and afterwards the remaining guys joined the session. Okay, is it okay with you guys 4 p.m. or you want me to start at 4:30 a.m.? Yes, Rupesh. Okay. Guys, just make sure that your virtual machines are ready. Make sure your 2 virtual machines, virtual ESXi's are ready, and configure it. And tomorrow, most probably, we are going to start vCenter server or storage. Either one I'll take up. Okay. So make sure you create virtual machines, your virtual ESXi's. Okay. Fine. 4 p.m. is okay with you guys, I've waited almost for half an hour to start the session. If you say okay, then we'll start at 4. Prabhakar, Rupesh, and Vikas, 4 p.m. is okay?
It's okay for me.
Okay, Vikas.
Sorry for today's delay.
No, not an issue, not an issue.
Yeah,
okay. Fine. Vikas, okay with 4 p.m.?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
All right then, guys. We'll meet you tomorrow at 4 p.m. then. Tomorrow, fine? 4 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Till then, take care, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye.